Hi, welcome to another edition of the Kingdom Journey podcast. I'm Catherine Carey, and I am coming in for Ron Jacobson today, and we are talking with the Santa Rita Fire District about safety. And I'm very happy to have two of the district members here to help us, and that is Joseph O'Brien, who's a battalion chief, and Kyle Blecker, who is a firefighter and a paramedic. So this is a really, I think, important conversation, especially in our demographic that we have here. And it's really good to have two experts to kind of guide us and give us some safety tips for how we can adjust and as we age to being more safe. So thank you guys both for coming, because I know you're busy and I appreciate it. I want to start off with just asking, like, what is the most common call that you guys get when it comes to safety?
So, to say what is our most common call and to pull that data, it varies.
Okay.
But in our community, I would say we see fall injuries is a number 1 through 5 call for us that we're going out. But it can vary: medical calls, chest pain, strokes, abdominal pain.
It really just depends on the season too, but I'd say overall falls are up there in our top 5 category. But I think it just, when it comes to wintertime, right, you can see a lot of respiratory illnesses and stuff like that, common colds, flus, stuff like that, but it just varies. But
Right. And so, well, falls is a great topic for safety, because that's some of these things they happen to your body. You can adjust your diet. That's something that people have to do on their own. But falls are something like physical that can just happen. And we were talking before we started filming that, a lot of people move here in their 50s and 60s, but now they're in their 80s and their houses are still set up like they were when they first got here. And so I'm wondering if there's any tips about, how to make yourself a little bit more safe as you age, still being able to live comfortably. But is there ideas that you have about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, right off the bat, rugs, socks on hardwood floors, installing grab bars, and making sure that you have the right lighting, you have the right footwear for the task that you're doing. If you're out working in the garden, that we're not overexerting ourselves, that we're hydrating. It's hot inside and out. We tend to go on a lot of dehydrated calls, a lot of syncope when it's really hot, because people aren't drinking enough water.
I'm gonna have some
And then we go out and go for a walk and don't realize how warm it is, how much fluid we're losing, and then we pass out. And the fainting's one component. It's what do we hit on the way down, right? As we age, we don't bounce as well. And I just learned that the other day, tackling my son, who's playing football. He tried to become a dad, and I'm like, man, that hurt. But we do have a valuable service in our community. It's called the SHIM service, and it's through Valley Assistance Services. And they'll come out with our group of Fire Corps volunteers, and they'll do a full home assessment. And we've been doing this for years and seeing tremendous success. And they come in and say, hey, we should probably put grab bars here. And then Valley Assistance Services can help get that installed through their means. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, Valley Assistance Services, their number, or our SHIM program through Fire Corps, is 520-625-5966.
And when we post this, we'll put a link to them so that it'll be really easy for you to access any information that you guys have today that we need to have. That's a separate place. So that's really great.
Perfect. And you can find it on our website too.
Perfect. Thank you. Great. Can you tell me about the rugs? Because that part I'm not. Are rugs a good thing? Or are they not a good thing?
Rugs typically aren't a good thing. They're usually seen as a trip hazard more than anything else, right? Okay. Especially if there's walkers in the house or canes or something like that. It's easy to get tripped up on. Rugs are, I would say, a pretty common instance of why somebody fell. Yesterday, I tripped at my house over the rug. I didn't dry it right, and it was just up a little bit. And luckily, I was able to catch myself. But it's those simple things, like rugs. Like while they may be comfortable, especially in a hardwood house, and I'm not talking like big rugs. I'm talking about little area rugs,
Yeah,
right? Little,
yeah,
like the
yeah.
ones that are right by your kitchen
Nothing
sink.
established.
Yeah, it's like right by your kitchen sink, right by the front door. Instances like that, we see that a lot.
Okay.
And so something, as you talk about that 20-year period from the age of 60 to 80, um, something that commonly people forget about is their bed height.
Oh
And getting in and out of their bed, and they start to experience frequent fall injuries trying to sit down and get in the bed, and it's because that bed's too high.
Okay.
And we need to bring that bed down so that you can safely get on it. And that's something that the shim program will look at. And if we come out frequently, our crews are trained to start looking at that and say, hey, we should probably look at getting you some type of other bed.
That's really interesting, and that would, I think, be, people hold on to their beds for a long time. So yeah. And then then would you suggest, like, is carpet better or is hardwood floor better? I mean,
Oh, that's a double-edged sword.
Oh, really?
So if you
Okay.
get hardwood floors, right, then you have the chance to slip, right? And that's when you really, like, if you do have hardwood floors, it's really important, like, as you age, like, I call them the hospital socks, right? Any kind of sock that have the grips on the bottom,
Okay.
just to help with establish that, like, resistance with the ground, right? But it's hit or miss.
Right.
It's nicer to fall on carpet, but it's also harder to keep clean, right? It's obviously personal preference, but
I want to take the carpet out of our house. That's why I want to know if we can.
So regardless of what floor you have,
Yeah.
keeping those pathways clear
Okay.
and not letting clutter build up
Yeah.
is extremely important.
Yeah, that's a great idea, especially as you start to use a walker or whatever. I'm seeing that in our house, so it can be hard to get around.
Yeah.
That's it. Or you're using your walker, you put the packages from Amazon in the hallway that you're saving to wrap for Christmas, and you're coming in from the grocery store and your dog crosses your path. The walker hits the packages and then we go down. But what was the preventative measure there? Well, we could have put the packages up, right? And maybe that would have reduced the chance that you experience that fall injury.
So we have to keep a lot more organized and clean as we get older. So that's important, though. Yeah. That's really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's really helpful. And these are safety measures in our home. So I think we've hit them.
I have a couple more.
Please.
Okay.
Bring them.
We talk about falls, but we also still have fire risk.
Yeah.
And so we need to make sure that we have working smoke alarms and we have working CO alarms. That is a must. Those are life-saving tools. And if we have hearing impairment, need to make sure that you have a hearing impaired device. We call them a bed shaker. It has a large strobe light, and it will vibrate the bed if a smoke detector is activated in your home.
Oh.
And so we also have a program for that. We can install smoke detectors, and we'll cover it at the end.
Yeah.
And we also replace batteries bi-yearly. So
that's great.
Their smoke detectors save lives.
You're so prepared for the area that you serve. I mean, I'm sure this is for everybody, but especially for this demographic, it seems really wonderful to have all these programs and ability to get people to come in and help you to figure out what you actually need. That's wonderful. Are there any other tips that you can share that we haven't hit on that we could use?
The only other thing that, like, we talk about too is in the fire service, we really talk about preparation, and one of those other programs that we'll talk about here at the end is a residential lockbox, right?
Okay.
If you have fallen and you can't get up and your front door is locked, how are we going to get in?
Yeah.
What we have, again, through Fire Corps and amazing volunteers that are there, is they go and install lock boxes that only we have access to. Nobody else has the keys to it. Only the fire trucks have the access to it. And it allows us to make entry into your home without doing any damage. We hate doing that, but if there's somebody who's hurt, we need to go in and get there. We try to find the least intrusive way to do that, right? Something that's not going to have a huge impact on you financially or security wise.
Right.
But this residential lockbox program is absolutely fantastic as well, because it's just an easy thing for us to do. And all of our crews are trained. If we can't get in, as we're walking up and assessing a house, we're looking for lockboxes. It's just one of those things that's
I've never
ingrained
even
to
heard
us.
of that, and I think that's so smart. It's such an easy thing to do, and so the program will tell you how to do that and tell you where to take your key and the whole thing.
I mean, we can talk about it now. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
So what happens is you call our headquarters. You get it set up, and there's a fee associated with it. It's a $90 for the box, and then it's $20 to install it. So $110 in total. And what they do is they come out, they find a secure place to put it, and they mount the box to the wall. They will mount it to your residence in a secure fashion, and then right then and there they'll put the key in it, and then if, like, for instance, like you get your locks changed, you can always call us and crews will come out and switch the keys. It's not a problem at all. And sometimes people leave notes in there like, hey, there's X amount of dogs in here or something. Some people leave us notes like that too, just so we're aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
But then we've also opened some, and there's like 6 different keys in there, so it's fun.
You're like, great.
Which one is it? But it's a great program.
And those that do have lockboxes in the community, one thing that's very helpful to put in their lockbox with their key is their emergency contact.
Yeah,
That's a great idea. Yeah.
But the security of the lockbox, we get this a lot.
Yeah.
Those are our keys. Those are not law enforcement's keys. Yeah. Those are not public works keys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those keys are tracked. They're assigned to certain apparatus.
Right.
And they come off the truck, they open up, they close, and then back on the truck.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful service.
Yeah.
That's a good use of $110.
Yeah.
That's a really good use. Now, can we talk about like an emergency response plan? Like, is that something that we should be like putting together? I mean, having a lockbox is a great idea, but should we have some sort of like plan in action as we get older?
You should in a variety of ways, and we should look at it in different ways. As we're growing up, right, as children, the youth and in families, we teach them, hey, what's your fire escape plan? You should still have that. You should still know where your exits are in your house. Make sure that they're not blocked. And if you have a spouse or you have other people living with you, what's a safe meeting location, right? Because the first thing that we care about when we get on scene is, are there people or pets in the residence?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to go find. And if we don't see anybody or meet anybody, if they don't meet us out front, we're going to go assuming that we need to search that house and find a victim.
Right.
After we've conducted a rescue profile. So that's huge. And then we need to prepare for the medical emergency.
Yeah.
Time is life. So we need to prepare and take that time to sit down and write out, what medications do I take? What medical conditions do I suffer from? Who are my doctors? What hospital do I want to go to if I'm incapacitated?
Right.
And I can't make a decision for myself? Do I not want to be resuscitated? And if so, do I have my do not resuscitate form where the paramedics can easily find it? Do I have my emergency contact listed? And the best place to do that is with the Santa Rita envelope of life and placing that on your refrigerator.
Oh, I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Mm-hmm. This is great. I hadn't even heard about that. Mm-hmm. That's great.
And so when Kyle comes in the door at 2:00 in the morning, his captain is going to go over there and pull that information, and then we can send it to the hospital with you. Mm-hmm. So they know who you are, who your family is. They can contact them, and they can have a brief medical history.
That's great.
We prepare for fires, but we need to, especially as we get older, we need to take that same preparation for the medical, the chest pain, the
stroke,
the dizziness on the golf course.
Right. So where do they get this envelope? Is it a kit, or is it something that you just do your own self?
They can come into administration. We have them right down here off Camino Alcanzo, or they can go to any of our fire stations and they have them in the lobby.
That's really great. That's a We're going to go get one of those, Mom. That's a really good thing. So now, actually, talking about that, it makes me think of the pets, because you were mentioning to me about like a pet plan.
Mm-hmm.
So please share what you shared with me, because that was pretty interesting.
I think it's just important remembering that like we're saying, time is life, right? And
Yeah.
pets are loved ones just as much as another person is, and it's always important to have a plan for them, because when we need to go, we need to go. And I'm an animal lover myself, and I want to make sure that that animal's taken care of. And I think it's a really good idea to have a neighbor. Some even communities have like a group where they're aware of it and they can come and help take care of the animal. And we've seen instances where it's delayed transport because people are so worried about it. And we understand, like we said, they're a member of the family, but it's a great idea to have something planned, just like we're talking about, complete preparation of anything and everything.
So that could go in the envelope, right? And then it would be like, they'll call this number, and they let them know you're in the hospital and go get the pet.
Yeah.
So we'll do the best of our ability, right? But we would love to see a note that says, hey, the food's in the laundry room.
Yeah.
Please put 2 scoops of this and some water in the chance that, and call this number.
Yep.
This person will come take care of my dog.
Yep. Yeah.
And then here's a great one for a lock. You know what? I'm not going to go into that. But we will help you make sure that your animal is taken care of in the first few hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And trying to arrange somebody to get over there to take care of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people in our church have animals, so that's really, really good information for sure. Let me see. Is there any are there special numbers that people should call? We were talking about falls, like if somebody falls in their family member or your friend, and you were saying rather than trying to pick them up yourself, the first thing you should do is call
911.
911.
Yep.
911. 911.
Okay.
911. I can't say it enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's simple.
911. We're blessed in Santa Rita. Our community takes such great care of us that we're allowed to have very high tech and sophisticated dispatching equipment that knows the location of all of our paramedics, all of our fire engines that carry paramedics on them, so that our dispatch center out of Tucson can select and dispatch the closest, most appropriate resource for your emergency.
Right.
So yes,
That's
call before you fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you do fall, it is 911.
Okay.
Get
That's and then we're not hurting ourselves trying to do something that we're not skilled to do when you guys are absolutely skilled to do this.
We don't you guys pay for gyms in our fire stations so that our firefighters are ready to go. It's part of their essential job duties. We do this on a fairly frequent daily basis as we go and assist people back to their feet. And a big component of that is if you've fallen, why?
Yeah.
Why did you fall? It might have been a simple trip, but let's get a paramedic's eyes on you and just make sure he's not seeing something. And I'll give you an example is I responded to a call and I'm looking at our MDT because as a 911 call comes in, we start to get updates at what the caller's saying. And I'm like, why do we have 3 patients on a fall injury? Like, is this bleachers or something? And what had happened is the neighbors who were older tried to pick up their neighbor. Well, the patient had a hip fracture. So as they go to lift, that patient goes into excruciating pain, starts to kind of flail around. And now all 3 people have gone down, and now all 3 people are injured, and they're getting transported. So call us. That's what we're here for. 24 hours a day,
911.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good to know. And you were saying like a lot of times people do wonder, they're afraid to call for something like that because they don't want a big scene, but always a fire engine is going to come. And why is that? Why would the fire engine show up as well?
Because so the fire engine carries almost all the same equipment that an ambulance does. And our ambulances, especially in the winter, get really busy. in Green Valley. We run a lot of calls. And so do those fire engines, but they stay in a geographical area.
Okay.
They don't go to Tucson, to TMC to transport a patient there. They don't go to UMC. So you have about 7 different units that are constantly in Green Valley.
Okay.
That fire engine is the closest unit that is most likely going to get to you and start providing aid.
Okay.
In addition, as Kyle said before the podcast, they're there to help the ambulance. They're there to help move people, to help provide care, drop medications, help give vital signs. At the end of the day, it's just so that the patient gets quicker, better, more efficient care,
Right.
and we get them on the road quicker to specialty care.
Cool. That's good to know. Now I had written down like I know a lot of people know the number to call if you have a snake, but it's not like off the top. It's not a 911 like off the top of your head call. So is there there's a specific number that'll come for if you have a snake? Is it connected to you guys at all, or is it not?
Realistically, yes, there's a non-emergency dispatch number, but just call 911 again. Like he's saying,
it's okay. You don't
it's
have
okay
to
to call 911 for a
Okay.
snake.
I think sometimes you get afraid to call 911 because you're like, does this fit in with like what
So we do have a number, and I'll give that to you. That's 520-629-9200, and that's connected to our dispatch center.
Okay.
When you call 911, you're going to go to a primary answering point, which is a law enforcement agency, and they're going to make sure that there's no law or threat to our firefighters before they transfer you to our dispatch facility. So by using the 520-629-9200, we don't flood them with snakes.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
That's
But you can call 911 for the snake and they'll transfer it over.
Okay.
But we don't know what they're working. And that's the
Right.
entire Pima County.
Right.
But that's how it works now.
Okay.
Maybe-
Okay. So don't be afraid to if you have to.
Yeah.
We will post that number
Yeah.
underneath this podcast so that it's, again, there's going to be a lot of numbers and links because there's a lot of great information and these are helpful things. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Yep.
And what about CPR training? Is that something that, I mean, I would think it's recommended, but it happens locally, right? You can take a CPR class locally.
Yeah, the district offers CPR classes. They're usually on Saturdays, and it's like a rotating schedule. It's something you can call our headquarters for. It's a certification class. It's a couple hours, and you get to learn the ins and outs of CPR. I would recommend it for everybody. It's an essential skill. It's been proven that bystander-assisted CPR and the instances of cardiac arrest, you have 5 to 7 minutes, and that 5 to 7 minutes that somebody's helping you before we get there, right, is essential, right?
Yeah.
It's essential, and it's something that has really been proven that bystander CPR before we get there is important, and I would preach it for everybody to take the time to get it.
Keeping the blood pumping is essential
Okay.
in a witness cardiac arrest, any cardiac arrest. Limiting that downtime that we're not getting blood from the heart to the brain is essential. And so paramedic Blecker's absolutely right. The more people we have trained in CPR is essential, but just doing chest compressions until we can get there is huge. But those classes, they're going to teach you a little bit more, give you a little bit more confidence in that initial, hey, is this a cardiac arrest? Hey, how do I use this AED?
Right.
So yes, we do offer them on Saturdays. You can call our administration center and sign up for a class. And I think it's a $65 fee, but it's worth it.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great to know. Is there anything that I've missed asking?
Actually, can I?
Yeah, please go.
2 board meetings ago, we just recognized 2 crews with life-saving medals. But a key component to those life-saving medals, and these are people that made full recovery, walked into the board meeting and were present, was because of bystander CPR.
Wow.
Their spouse was able to perform CPR on the phone. This is actually, do I have time real quick?
Yeah, no, you have.
Okay, so something to understand when you call 911 and you say, if there's any indication that that patient is not breathing, our dispatchers are going to lead you through CPR.
Wonderful.
So understanding how to get your cell phone onto speakerphone so that you can use your hands to start chest compressions if you're able is essential to survival. Now, also understand your limitations. If you can't move that person in that chair and you're going to hurt yourself doing it, don't worry, we're coming.
Yeah.
We came the second that you told them an address and that they weren't breathing. Our crews were running to their truck and they're on the way.
Right.
It'll feel like a very long time, but if you can't do it, that's okay. But the dispatchers are trained to lead you through.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're not on your own. You have
Correct.
help.
Correct.
And that's such a wonderful service, and that's a really good feeling of security.
I think it's really important for people to realize when there are emergencies going on, it's not like the dispatcher just hangs up. They typically will stay on the phone with you until we get there. We constantly know that dispatch is probably still on the phone, and it's a really comforting service, right? Because you're stressed, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice to have somebody there to talk to, and dispatch does a great job.
Yeah.
And they're feeding us in real-time information. Everything that they're telling you, they're transcribing and putting into our computers so that we can be better prepared.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
We'll get in the truck, say, bystander CPR being performed.
Yeah.
We know, all right, it's game time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great to know. Is there anything that I missed? I definitely want to get to this, but is there anything on a safety measure that you think you want us to know for sure before we? I feel like we hit a lot of really good points. We certainly learned a lot, but I just want to make sure because you guys are the pros. You're the heroes.
No, we're
okay. I know I wanted to ask about community events because I know the fire department often does community events, and you have a pancake breakfast coming up. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So tell me a little bit about that and where we can go to join.
So that's at Fire Station 151. It's the most central station. And what we've done it for, I can't even tell you how many years. It's been forever. We do a community breakfast. It's a pancake breakfast. It's free to the community. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of vendors there, but then you have a bunch of firefighters cooking you breakfast. And it's October 10th, and it's from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And there's usually a line out the door, and it's a good opportunity to just come together as a community. It's our way of saying thank you for the community's support.
Great.
Because the community here is absolutely fantastic to us, and we are very appreciative of everyone. And it's just an opportunity for us to say thank you and to provide something for you. And it's a time for us to come together and be together and in a non-emergency setting. I think it's important to get to know the people who will eventually be coming to help you. It's a really nice thing.
And where is that station located?
It's 250 North La Cañada. The biggest cross streets are La Cañada and Esperanza.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. And is there any other events that we should know about? Or
I didn't bring our event calendar, but our district is always out and about working with different organizations, and our community outreach team is great. But one thing I do want to say is we have an amazing group of volunteers with our fire corps. And if you're interested in joining our fire corps and assisting with our public, response calls, or our residential lockbox program, our smoke alarm and battery replacement program, and being a part of this amazing group of individuals, you can call them and somebody will set you up with intaking and when they do their next hiring or academy.
We do have such a nice community of people willing to volunteer. Mm-hmm. That is one of the things that in Green Valley that's amazing. So, well, I really thank you guys for coming and sharing all this information. We will have so much information underneath the podcast so that everyone can address it. But yeah, thank you for your expertise and just taking the time out on your busy day to join us. And this was great. I learned a lot. So if only me, I'm going to be more safe.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we really appreciate being
here.
here.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you.